gamers, Elite Godston is here to show you more of my 100 tier list for Pixelgun 3D weapons. Just a quick announcement, tomorrow will be the release for the PC edition for Pixelgun 3D, but I am going to be a little bit busy, but I will see if I can do one quick video. I'll probably maybe do a live stream of it, or just do a quick testing video of it on YouTube. So just be aware about that for tomorrow. I'm still going to do the 100 tier list for Pixelgun 3D weapons, but this is part 3. So anyways, this is number 201 through 300 of the gallery weapons for Pixelgun 3D. So let's begin with this one. Adamant Bomber. This is the same equivalency as the Toy Bomber. This one I never used before, but it's also a good 3 cat spam weapon, but I'm going to say it's pretty decent, but to me, I never used it. The Adamant Revolver, this is the same similarity as the Steamed Revolver. Pretty decent, possible for cat spams, but I still never used it. Mostly all these Adamant weapons I never even used. The Airblade spell, this one got changed a little bit because I believe previously, like, I'm not sure when it was released, but this one I got from the older weapon type before it got revamped when the Harry Potter season pass came out. So this one, I'm probably going to say it's a decent weapon for most beginner players and all that stuff. Angry Pumpkin, or Hungry Pumpkin, I'm not sure what the name is anyway. Angry Pumpkin, this one's probably decent for casual players, but I never used it. Anti-Champion Rifle, no. No, I was right. Anti-Champion Rifle. OG and 3 cat spam. That one's pretty good. Like, really good. Because there's also a better similarity like this because there was a different type but had like a different attribute. It has the same style skin. That I'm going to get to tell you about that later on once I actually get to there first. The Assault Shotgun. This one's also an OG weapon as well too. Astro Bow, I never even used this before, so the only thing about it is that you don't even actually players can't even see it because like the glowing like setup right here, because you only have just like this little piece right here like hold on to your hand, and then like you don't even see it, but once you shoot it, like it'll start firing like an actual like bow. But that's the only downside factor for the rival players because you can still see, like they can still see you, but like it's really difficult to see where they're at. So this one I never used before, and I'm not sure if it's 3 cat spam or not. Now I'll tell you about a quick story about this weapon right here, the Automatic Decorator. A few years ago, when I played Pixelgun 3D for the first time, I'm not sure when it got released. Not the weapon, like the actual game, like when it got released. This one was really good. It's OG and 3 cat spam to my perspective, and also decent. But the only downside is that I actually never got this weapon because when I was first introduced to Pixelgun, my older phone kept crashing and lagging me out, and I had to uninstall it. It was around 7th grade when I first played this game, but then I uninstalled it because it kept crashing me ever since. So I stopped playing it 8th grade and 9th grade. Actually, yeah, in 9th grade. 10th grade, I came back in, but I still began a whole lot of lag issues and crashes whenever I tried to pull my keyboard and start typing for my friends. That one was really annoying, and I uninstalled it again and just gave up. And then I came back 11th grade, still had issues, and then around 12th grade, things went completely downhill for me, unfortunately. Like I've been missing out all of these type of weapons right here, and right before like a few years later, like I got myself a better phone and it's still working out pretty good. But the only downside is that with all those older phones I had, it kept crashing me and lagging me out. It was really that stressful for me, and I was like really irritated. Like I don't know like what to do. So once I got my newer and newer phones moving up and up and up, I just started grinding all the weapons, whatever I see on the traders events or on the lottery events. So the automatic decorator is one of my favorite weapons, but I never got it. I did believe I get it from the store when it showed like four options you can choose, which is like choose your basic like choose your favorite weapon, and then like you could choose like a skin or like gems or something or coins or pass tickets. And I'm not sure what the final one is as well too. Or like when you go into a store, it says like a mercenary choice or a veteran choice or a hero choice and all that stuff, and you like cost money for it to actually get these weapons. Like once they've actually been shown, you can purchase it. This one, I'm gonna say it's OG and 3 cat spam. This one's my all-time favorite right here, and I'm really glad I finally got it few years ago. I believe it was around 2021 or 2022. I really, really love this weapon because of the style of it. The only downside is that it has a looping air, like a looping shot, because you have to be very, you have to like be on the lucky chance to actually hit that if you want to do a cat spam. And it's also really good for rocket jumping as well too, especially with the ammo usage of 15, I believe it is, or 12. Not sure which one's which. Coming up next is the BEAST, also known as Beast. This one I never use, and I recommend you guys not using this because it still has a pretty good fire rate, but the only downside is the reload because it's so super super slow. It takes like 3 or 4 seconds to reload it, or maybe 5. This one's not good. This one I believe is called the Big Facility Gun. This one's a charge shot weapon, and it's really annoying to use, so I never used this weapon before. And I recommend you guys to not use this because like if you're a charge shot person, you had to like be very lucky on it and try not to get attacked by other enemies. I'll probably say it's pretty good and decent for casual players at beginner level, but I'm gonna say I never used it. But if you're like higher up, never use this because it's gonna be really annoying because it takes like 5 seconds to charge it up, and then like you gotta be very like lucky on the direct contact on the enemy. The Black Mamba, I believe. Yeah, Black Mamba. Good for beginner level, I believe, but this one is also one of the clan weapons that you can get from the clans, the Pixelgun clans area, where in the previous clans updates, you have options to get like any types like clan newers or like clan officers or the clan elites and all that stuff. This one I'm gonna say is decent because this one's the same similarity as this, so they're both gonna be the decent areas. So the Black Mamba and the Casanova is both decent for casual players. Blade of Justice. This one is a pretty good weapon to use. It's an OG and 3 cat spam for me in general, but this one's decent because you can use this for knife parties. And I use this weapon for the 4th of July season, like a holiday season. Like once 4th of July hits by, any type of weapons I use is mostly for holiday season, so you'll still see me around with these weapons, seeing like which one's which. So just FYI on that one. Any type of holiday weapons you see, go ahead and use those because it can be either like Thanksgiving or Christmas or 4th of July or St. Patrick's. Anything you name out for those holiday seasons, go ahead and use them. The Bomb Slinger. This one, decent for casual players, but I never used it in a while, but I'm just gonna say it's decent. It's the same similarity as the automatic decorator, but I'm saying it's decent because it's like a one-time usage. Like you still keep on firing and all that stuff, but it has like no reload time. Except if you count like if you use the one-time shot and then had to reload it for like 1 quick second. Like you can still use it anyway because it doesn't take like a while for it to reload. Kind of like for this one where you like use 15 times and have to reload it. This one you can just use how many times you want to use it anyway. So this one's gonna be decent because I believe in tournaments, when you go into like a team fight in Classic Pool, there will be a whole lot of folks in the heavy category tournaments using this weapon because it has like different rule sets. So just a point out there for you guys. The Champion Arc, I believe it's called. This one I actually never used before because there's another type of weapon like this, but I believe it's gonna be it's the same system as this one right here, the Electric Arc, but I believe this one's called the Champion Arc. I still gotta remember about these names. I know like most of these weapons names, but I can't forget what they are anyway. But Champion Arc and Electric Arc, these ones I'm gonna say I never used before. You can still purchase them anyway as a collection if you want, but only if you feel like it. But it's pretty good for decent casual players. But I'm just gonna never use it and don't recommend on actually use them in fights. If you're actually beginner level, go ahead and use it. But if you're like max level 65, never use them. Celebration Bazooka, decent for casual players. Again, same thing as Blade of Justice. You can use this for the 4th of July season and the holiday season. So it's going to be really good use, but the only downside is that you have to be very lucky on it because if you're close to the enemy and firing at it, you'll probably get like 1 or 2 hits in. But if you're like from a far away distance, it'll take like 3 or 4 hits because of its area effect. And there's only one downside factor is that there's no blindness at it when it shoots the area effect from the actual explosions from the beautiful colors. And a point about this one as well too is that for July 4th, I'm going to say this right here, but I am going to get a whole lot of like dislikes and a whole lot of comments about this saying like, why do you not like these? Why do you not like the actual thing for 4th of July? And all this stuff. Da 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 da. I'm not a fan of fireworks, so just a point taken for you guys. I'm not a fan of fireworks because I have very sensitive ears for any type of stuff. So I just stay inside the house and just play for fun and all that stuff. But I do like the colors of it when they go off, but the noises, I'm just not a fan of it. So sorry to any folks that are 4th of July fans that go and watch it to the shows. I'm just not a fan of them. Sorry about that. The Champion Mercenary. I never used this weapon before. It's the same similarity as the Mercenary right here. Most of these weapons are still the same type, but they have like different styles of like the weapon skins or like the champion skins or adamant skins. Champion Mercenary and Mercenary, I never use these weapons because it's a semi-auto backup. And I believe only one downside is that this one has like a burning effect, while this one doesn't. So I never used these weapons before. The Chipped Sword is a decent category weapon, but I never use this because it has like a shield around you that has like electricity around you if you hold this weapon. I never use this, but it's pretty decent for casual players, for beginners, whenever you obtain this weapon at low level clans. So I never use this weapon. The Champion Solar Cannon. This one I actually never used before, but I'm going to say it's pretty decent for casual players and beginners once they get this weapon. But I never used this weapon before for quite a while. Christmas Ultimatum, OG and 3 cat spam weapon. Because of its area damage effect and the cluster bombs, really good. And sometimes it can be a one hit if you aim it directly at the enemy. The Champion Automatic Peacemaker, decent for casual players at beginner level if you get this weapon obtained. Combat Yo-Yo, decent, but I never used it before. And there's also a really neat trick. If you use this weapon, You can actually get from a little bit like it's like a range distance, but I think they probably patched up that glitch anyway in the raids mini game. Not the raids for the clans one, but I'm talking about like the monster raids, where you have like a Dead City or Magical Valley. If you use this type of weapon right here in like the school area where you have to collect these little vials and all that stuff, if you use this, and instead of having your player touch it, you can use a combat yo-yo to just reach that distance and just get it for you. And also good like it's like a wall break area, so you can just like go in there and just grab it. I believe it did see one player use that weapon, and I didn't know you could actually do that. It's really decent, and it's pretty good. I'm wanting to put in the OG spot, but I'm gonna say it's decent. The curse spell, it's decent for casual players, and I believe it's pretty good for cat spams. The core sword. This is the same summary as the demon sword. This one is going to be a OG and 3 cat spam weapon, but unfortunately it's not cat spam, but it's a pretty good OG weapon. This one was actually almost the final weapon I was missing for my gallery to make a whole 100% completion of the Pixelgun 3D gallery weapons I obtained. This one, I'm gonna say I never used it. I still been using it ever since, like for the a quick matches, but I just never used this entirely. Same thing as for the demon sword as well too. Deadly beats. This one had a huge buff. When it was introduced in the van for the skin, this one was like a one-hit area damage, but it got nerfed. But this one is still a good OG and 3 cat spam weapon. Dino Slayer, decent, and it's also a clan weapon to collect. It's a shotgun, and it's possible for OG and 3 cat spam weapon as well too, but I'm gonna say it's decent on that. The double dragon, I'm not sure the actual. Like I said, I'm not pretty good at these names as far as I know, but most of them I know, but the rest of them I gonna totally misspell or mispronounce anyway. The double dragon or a double barrel dragon, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's called like the double head dragon. It's decent for casual players, and it uses for like the year of the year of animal, like the year of the rat or year of the season pass and all that stuff for any type of like special stuff going on. So it's pretty decent for casual players and beginners. So just FYI on that one. Uh, I want to say Dragon Breath, but it's not that. I believe it's called the Frozen. I am bad with these names. Give me a sec. Ah, Dragon King. That's what the name is. Dragon King. This one's decent for casual players and for beginners, but I'm gonna say I never used this weapon before. Emperors. I'm going to go back through this every single time and try to figure what it is. I'm going to do a whole lot of editing so that way I can figure out these names anyway. Emperor Servants, they're similarly as another type of weapon that you can use as well too, but I'm just never used these weapons before. It's decent for casual players, I'm just going to put that in that category, but I just never used that weapon before. Dual Cry Pistols. This one's a Christmas season weapon. I never use this, and this is the only type of weapon that I actually found, because there was more other type of backup weapons you could use for Christmas season cat spams, but this one I never used because it's really difficult to do because it has like that the bullet travel time. Really annoying on that one. The Elder Saber Elder Force Saber. This one's the OG and cat spam weapon. This is the same celebrity as the Dark Force Saber, but this one's the Elder Force Saber. They're both the same types because it's pretty good for like it's like an OG thing you can use, and then also good for cat spams as well too. Because if you swap over to like your sniper or special or sniper and heavy, and swap back to your melee, and still keep on spamming the melee and all that stuff when you're not around an enemy, I think that's where people use like as buffer strats or something before they do anything else in general. The Earth Spike spell, people use this weapon anyway because it's more like a heavy spamming type thing because they want to get more points and all that stuff. It's an OG and 3 cat weapon to me in general, so just I'm putting that one right there because it's really good. The Electro Sphere, it's a melee weapon and also a clan weapon. This one's decent to use if you're pretty lucky on it, but this one's decent for casual players and for beginners. The Electro Blaster, this one is decent. There's another type as well too that has like a sniper variant, but this one's just a Electro Blaster. Decent for casual players and for beginners. The Excalibur, this one is your very first clan weapon in the Wood Division to get. Most of these weapons you'll find are also Wood Division weapons, but there's gonna be like Silver Division, no, Steel Division, Gold, and Crystal. So these ones, the clan Wood Division weapons, Excalibur, it's pretty decent to use if you're pretty lucky on it. The Eraser, I never used it because it's a charge shot. It has like a gravity force, and I recommend you guys to not get it unless if you want to get it. But you have to be very lucky on it because people will rage quit if someone's using it. If you want to get like special combos on it. The Reaper, it's like semi-auto, and this one's pretty decent to use, but you have to be very lucky on it on the enemy if they're coming toward you. But I never used this weapon before. The melee for the fists, I believe they're called Power Fist. It's pretty decent to use if you're pretty lucky on its chances, and it's also good for knife parties as well too at the beginners. The Poseidon Trident, it's pretty decent use because with it because it has like a, it's not cat spam, but like if you keep on firing at it, like if the person's coming at you, it's like a 1 or 2 hit shot on the body or head and all that stuff. It's pretty decent use. Third Eye, it's an OG and cat spam weapon. Because you can still swap back over to like your special and your heavy and your sniper and all that stuff. Any of that stuff because it has like a X-ray vision to see where they're at, and then if you see the enemy coming by when they're not facing towards a wall or something, you can still fire at it. And pretty good thing to use as well too. Flag Keeper, it's an OG3 cat spam weapon, but I could say it's decent because it's similarly as another type of weapon, which I do not show on the list right here, unfortunately, so I'm gonna say it's decent. Executioner, it's an OG and cat spam weapon to use. Again, it's also the same thing as the 4th of July holiday season if you want to use this weapon for July 4th. Or New Year's if you want to as well. The Frozen Breathing Dragon, decent to use for beginners and casual players, but it's also a clan weapon as well too. Remember back in the day when fidget spinners were a thing in school, but people think it's like actually it's a dead toy and all that stuff. This one I'm gonna say I never used this before, and it's the same similarity as the Music Lover. These two right here are the same type of style, and I'm not sure if they're Ricochet or not, but unfortunately these ones I'm gonna say I never used them before. The Hedgehog, decent for casual players, but I never used this weapon before. Laser Assistant, decent for casual players if you do get this like from the special set season. I can't figure out a special name for that because when I say special set season, because we have like a special event going on where you have like get like actual tickets, like ticket coupons, and then like train them off to get like the skin and then 2 more weapons from it. But I just call it the special set season, where you have like a different types. Where you get like the Christmas one, you have to get like the actual set to get special the special attributes and see what you get. This one's gonna say it's decent for casual players and for beginners. Impulse Rifle, it's a primary semi-auto weapon, decent for casual players because it's pretty fast. The Invader, I did get this weapon before they did a change of it, where it had three options for either the Pig Hammer, the Invader, or the Sakura. This one I got the older version of it, but before it got changed, I still got the change of it. But unfortunately, I think it got it as legendary, but I did not get it to mythical, unfortunately, because I don't want to waste my gems on it anyway. So I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players, for beginners, and I'm not sure, but I'll probably like put a photo up there, but I'm not gonna do that anyway. Hurricane, this one's a clan weapon you can get from its type of categories you can choose. I'm gonna say it's an OG and 3 cast band weapon. It's the same similar as the Armageddon from the very first, from part 1 of the 100 tier list of Pixel Gun 3D. Pretty good to use, and it's the same similarity as it. The Grenader, this one I've never used before actually. I'm not sure what its actual style is, but I think it's not OG and 3 cat spam weapon to use. Hero, this one is a decent and a type of thing to use. It's the same summary as another type, like this one right here, the I'm just gonna call it the Celebration Hero. I'm not sure what the actual name is. I'm totally bad with names on these. They're both the same type, and both of these are gonna be decent for casual players and for beginners. But if you want to use this one right here, the Celebration Hero, go ahead and use that if you like, because it's also a July 4th holiday season if you want to use that. Future Sniper Rifle, OG and 3 cat spam weapon to use. I see people use this when they're at Legendary Mythical because of its ammo usage, but the only downside is that like when you have like a 10 ammo usage, the remaining you have left for reload is 5, and that's the most downside of it, so I'm gonna say it's OG and 3 cat spam weapon on that. The minigun rifle, I'm bad with these names. I think it's called Impulse Minigun. It's a backup primary, I believe. It's either primary or backup. This one's decent to use for casual players and for beginners, because I believe there was like a mythical skin you can use, but it was like way too expensive for gems, so I recommend you guys to not use that. The Law Enforcer, OG3 cat spam weapon used. I think it was first introduced as a sniper, but had like no scope because you had to be very lucky on it. The Leader's Sword is also a clan weapon, decent to use. Laser Spear, decent to use as well too. The Killer Whale, I never used this before. It's a similarity as the other type of weapon, which I'm not going to say because I don't have that on my list. The Poison Spell. This one, I did the same type of story as for the Automatic Decorator. This one I actually still got from the older weapon skin before they got changed from the Harry Potter season pass. It's the same thing as the Airblade spell, but this one I'm gonna say it's decent. Because the only downside is that I wish I could put in the OG and 3 cast band spot, but unfortunately, with its new type of weapon style, it changes its attributes, and now it's like a semi-auto primary, and you had to like reload it every single time. So that was a big nerf on that. The Masterpiece Musket is an OJ3 castman weapon, and it was the very first introduction of a sniper shotgun. Really good to use. The Meat Grinder, decent for casual players and for beginners. Love Spell, OG and 3 cat spam to use if you're good to that, but I'm gonna say it's decent. The Semi-Auto Shotgun, decent for casual players. One Shot, 3 cat, and OG, really good, but the only downside is that it has like a very long cooldown, but you have to be like you guys had to go over from like a sniper, then special, then backup, then primary, then heavy, then sniper again. Rocket Jump, OG and 3 cat spam. It's also good for rocket jumping as well too. That's why it's called Rocket Jumper. Nunchucks, decent. Mountain Wolf. This one is a clan weapon. It's an OG and 3 cat spam weapon to use, but I'm gonna say it's decent. Orbital Pistol. I never used this weapon before because of its charge shot. And you have to be very lucky on it because of its very annoying attribute. Is that when you charge it up, you'll see it's kind of like similar as the orbital satellite and the actual raids for the clans, where you see actual long it's like a radar thing where you see where it's gonna actually start dropping, and then once you see where that radius is at, you're gonna get hit by that. So I'm gonna say never use this, and it's really annoying. Don't recommend to use this weapon. No. The Renegade. This one is a clan weapon to use. I'm totally wrong on it. I think it's a clan weapon, but I'm gonna say it's decent for casual players because it's the same similarity as the Rocket Jumper for that one. Railgun, decent for casual players OG and 3 cat spam usable, but it's decent for casual players for beginners. Little Cthulhu, I never use this. It's the same similarity as another type of this, but I don't have that on my list. Prototype S, a clan weapon, OG and 3 cat spammable. Reflector, this one is really good for me. I think it's called Reflector, I'm not sure. Yeah, the Reflector, I believe it is. This one's an OG 3 cat spam weapon to use on this. Mini Space Alien weapon. I'm bad at these names, I'm making up some stupid names right here. The Mini Alien Spaceship. This one, it's decent to use for casual players for beginners, but I just never use this. The Plasma Spread. I never used this weapon before. Shadow Spell, decent for casual players for beginners. Sly Boomer, never used this weapon before. It's a similarity as another type, but I don't have it on my list. Piranha, I've been using this before. It's decent for casual players and for beginners because I believe at level 52 I was using this weapon when I had the highest module for Dead City in the actual raids. And it's really good to use. Sakura, it's an OG and 3 cat spam weapon. I believe no one ever used the original version of the Sakura before it got changed a little bit because now it has a critical chance, X-ray vision, and a 10 times zoom scope, I believe, or 8 times zoom scope. This one's an OG and 3 cat spam weapon to use. Really, really good. Sharp Snowflake, it's an OG and 3 cat spam weapon, but I'm gonna say it's decent because I believe bots use this as well too, because of its cluster bombs and its bleeding effect. The Love Daggers, or I believe it's called Romeo and Juliet. Decent for casual players for beginners at knife parties for melee. The Soul Lantern. Decent for casual players and for beginners. There's the same summary as this one, but I don't have that on my list. Special Agent, I think it's called. Or Agent Pistol. Special Agent, this one is going to be a decent, because I think that's also a final clan weapon to retrieve as well too, but I'm totally wrong on that. Steam Power Fist, decent for casual players for beginners. Stormtrooper Exoskeleton, it's an OG thing to use, but I'm gonna say it's decent when you get this weapon right here. Tactical Tomahawk, this one is in the OG spot, but I'm gonna say it's decent because it's also the final weapon to use if you're wanting to use like this for the July 4th holiday season, if you want to use this. Thunderer is an OG and 3 cat spam spot to use. Vampire Hunter, decent for casual players and for beginners. Undertaker, OG spot. The Void Ray Rifle, same similarity as another weapon, which I believe I said or did not say. So I never use this. the Waynir, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. It's like Vyern. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. This one is decent, but the only downside is that when you go into sniper tournaments, you don't get to use this weapon because it's locked out of its actual spot because you had to use the recommended sniper options you could choose in your actual armory for the sniper tournament. Veteran, this one is decent to use. And finally is the Zeus Chainsword. Decent for casual players and for beginners because of its chain damage as well too, and also good for knife parties. And that is part 3 of the 100 tier list for Pixel Gun 3D. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, tomorrow will be the PC version for Pixel Gun 3D. I will keep you guys posted. We'll see what happens later on, but I'll maybe do like one quick video of it. But it's going to take a while for me because I had to transfer most of this stuff over, so just want to do a quick FYI for you guys right there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Lightning Strike.